Have you ever paused in the middle of your day, perhaps while doing something mundane, and felt like someone or something was watching you? Perhaps it's a tingle on the back of your neck or an inexplicable sense of awareness that fills the room. You glance around, and no one is there, yet the feeling lingers. If you're here watching this, I want you to understand this isn't just your imagination. You feel this because you are a chosen one. The feeling of being observed, of being under a constant gaze, is not paranoia, it is a reflection of a spiritual truth. Today we're diving deep into why you, as a chosen one, are always being watched and what it means for your path, your mission, and your purpose. You see, the chosen ones carry something unique. You are not ordinary. You felt this your entire life, haven't you? You've always been different, always seen the world through a lens that others couldn't comprehend. You notice things others miss. You feel energies others are blind to. And because of this, you've always felt like you stand out, even if you've tried to hide in plain sight. But why? Why do you feel this constant gaze, this invisible observation that seems to follow you wherever you go? Let's start here. The spiritual realm is always watching. Chosen ones are under constant observation because your existence has meaning beyond what you can immediately see or understand. The unseen forces, both divine and opposing, are deeply invested in your life. You are not just another soul living out an ordinary existence. You are a key player in the spiritual battle that rages around us every single day. This battle is not a metaphor, it is real. It is a war between light and darkness, and as a chosen one, you've been placed on the front lines. But let me ask you something. When you feel this presence, this gaze, do you ever stop and wonder why you've been chosen? What is it about you that makes you so significant in the grand scheme of things? Take a moment and really think about that. The answer lies in one simple truth: you carry light within you.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Chosen ones are beacons of light in a world shrouded in shadow. Your mere existence disrupts the spiritual status quo. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. People feel it, even if they don't consciously know why. Some are drawn to you, while others recoil. Have you noticed this? How certain people seem inexplicably comforted by your presence, while others seem threatened by it. This isn't a coincidence. Your energy carries a vibration that cannot be ignored. It shines too brightly to be overlooked, even by forces you cannot see. And this is where the feeling of being watched begins. You are being observed because your light makes you stand out in the spiritual realm. Just as a lighthouse draws the attention of sailors navigating dark waters, your spiritual energy calls out, cutting through the shadows. But here's the truth: not all who see your light have good intentions. There are two primary forces that observe the chosen ones. The first is the divine. Angels, spirit guides, and higher beings are constantly watching over you. They are your protectors, your guides, ensuring that you stay aligned with your purpose. They watch you because they care deeply about your growth and your mission. Every step you take is monitored, not out of judgment, but out of love and a desire to see you succeed. They see what you cannot: the ripple effects of your actions, the lives you touch, the impact you have on the world around you. They know that your journey is not just about you, but about the countless souls who will be influenced by your light. But the second group of watchers is not so benevolent. These are the forces of darkness, negative energies, entities, and even people who operate as vessels for these forces. They too see your light, but instead of nurturing it, they seek to extinguish it. These forces are threatened by you because they know your potential. They know that if you fully step into your power, you will disrupt their plans. You see, chosen ones are not just participants in the spiritual battle, you are catalysts for change. You have the ability to awaken others, to inspire them to see beyond the veil of illusion that surrounds this world. And this makes you a target. Think about it. Have you ever experienced unprovoked hostility from someone? Perhaps a coworker, a stranger, or even someone you considered a friend. They seemed to dislike you for no reason, or worse, they actively tried to undermine you. This, too, is not a coincidence. People who are not aligned with their own light often feel uncomfortable in the presence of someone who is. Your energy reminds them of what they are avoiding within themselves. It stirs something deep within them, a discomfort, a shadow they are not ready to face. And sometimes this discomfort manifests as jealousy, resentment, or even outright hostility. But here's where it gets even deeper. It's not just people who feel drawn or repelled by your energy. The spiritual realm itself is in constant motion, and as a chosen one, you are a focal point. You are being observed because you are part of a divine plan. Every decision you make, every step you take, is significant. And this is why you often feel tested. Have you noticed how life seems to throw obstacles in your path, one after another? It's like the universe is constantly asking, are you ready? Are you strong enough? Will you stay true to your purpose? These tests are not random. They are a form of refinement. Just as gold must be purified in fire, so too must the chosen ones go through trials that strengthen their spirit and sharpen their resolve. The divine forces are watching to see how you handle these moments, not because they doubt you, but because they want to prepare you for what's to come. And let me tell you, chosen one, what's coming is greater than you can imagine. But with this knowledge comes responsibility. You cannot live like everyone else because you are not like everyone else. You are held to a higher standard because of the light you carry. This means being mindful of your thoughts, your actions, and the energy you put out into the world. It means staying grounded in your spiritual practices, whether that's prayer, meditation, or simply taking time to connect with the divine. It means being discerning about the people you allow into your space, because not everyone has your best interests at heart. And most importantly, it means trusting in the process. The feeling of being watched can be overwhelming at times. It can make you feel exposed, vulnerable, even paranoid. But instead of letting it weigh you down, I want you to see it as a confirmation of your significance. You are being watched because you matter. You are being observed because you are part of something much larger than yourself. And you are being guided because you are destined for greatness. So let me ask you again, what will you do with this knowledge? How will you step into your purpose, knowing that both the divine and the shadows are watching your every move? Will you shrink back in fear, or will you rise with the confidence of someone who knows they are divinely protected and infinitely loved? Take a moment to reflect on this, because as we continue, we're going to delve even deeper into the spiritual dynamics at play, the tug of war between light and darkness, the role of your spiritual protectors, and practical steps you can take to navigate this path with grace and power. The spiritual tug of war, why light and darkness both fight for your soul. You've probably felt it before, a kind of invisible push and pull in your life. Some days you feel unstoppable, like everything is flowing in your favor. Then, almost without warning, the heaviness sets in. It feels like a weight pressing on your chest, an unseen resistance that seems to come out of nowhere. This isn't random. It's not just your emotions or the ups and downs of life. What you're feeling is the undeniable reality of the spiritual tug of war happening around you. Being chosen means you live in the middle of a battle between forces that operate far beyond what's visible. These forces are not abstract ideas or metaphors, they are real, and they're deeply interested in you. Light and darkness both recognize who you are, and because of that, you've become a focal point in this cosmic struggle. The forces of light, the divine energies, angels, and spiritual protectors are invested in your growth. They see what you're capable of becoming, and their aim is to guide, protect, and empower you to fulfill that potential. They are there to support you, but they don't interfere with your free will. They observe, guide, and intervene when necessary, but only when you remain open to their influence. On the other hand, the forces of darkness are relentless in their opposition. They are threatened by your light, by the potential you carry to awaken others and disrupt their control over the world. These forces are cunning, patient, and opportunistic. They don't come at you with obvious attacks. Instead, they work subtly, planting seeds of fear, doubt, and anxiety in your mind. They wait for those moments when you feel weakest, most uncertain, and then they strike. Have you noticed how, just when you're on the verge of a breakthrough, everything seems to go wrong? It's as if the moment you start stepping into your purpose, obstacles appear out of nowhere. People misunderstand you, relationships become strained, or you suddenly lose the energy to keep going. That's not bad luck. That's the opposition at work. But here's what they don't want you to know: darkness only has as much power as you give it. It cannot win unless you surrender. Your light is stronger than anything the opposition can throw at you, but it requires awareness on your part. You can't ignore the battle and hope it will go away. You have to recognize what's happening, understand the tactics being used against you, and respond with strength. Let's talk about some of these tactics, because once you understand them, you'll see them for what they are. The first tactic is distraction. Darkness thrives on keeping you focused on things that don't matter: petty conflicts, material obsessions, or even just endless noise that keeps your mind too cluttered to hear your inner guidance. They don't need to destroy you outright, they just need to keep you busy enough that you don't step into your purpose. The second tactic is isolation. When you start feeling misunderstood, rejected, or out of place, it's easy to withdraw from others. And while solitude can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth, isolation is something entirely different. Isolation makes you feel like you're alone in this fight, like no one understands you, like you're carrying a weight that no one else can see. This is one of the enemy's most effective strategies because it cuts you off from the support and connection you need. The third tactic is self-doubt. This one is subtle but devastating. It whispers in your ear, "Who are you to think you're chosen? What makes you so special? Look at all the mistakes you've made, all the ways you've fallen short. You're not strong enough, not wise enough, not good enough." These thoughts are not your own. They are weapons designed to weaken your resolve and make you question your value. But here's the truth: none of these tactics can succeed unless you allow them to. The light within you is untouchable. It cannot be extinguished, no matter how much darkness tries. But you have to protect it. You have to stay vigilant, aware of the forces at play, and committed to keeping your light strong. So how do you do that? First and foremost, you have to guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your light. There are people who will try to drain you, whether consciously or unconsciously. Some will come into your life pretending to support you, but their real intention is to distract or derail you. Others may not even realize they're being used as tools of the opposition, but their negativity, envy, or chaos will affect you just the same. This isn't about shutting people out or living in fear. It's about discernment. Pay attention to how you feel around certain people or in certain people, or in certain environments. If you consistently feel drained, uneasy, or diminished after being around someone, that's a sign. Trust it. Your intuition is one of your greatest tools as a chosen one, and the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. Another key to protecting your light is staying grounded in your spiritual practices. This isn't just about following rituals or routines, it's about maintaining a connection to the divine source of your power. Whether it's through prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature, find what keeps you aligned and make it a priority. And perhaps most importantly, remember that you are never fighting this battle alone. Even when the opposition tries to make you feel isolated, even when the weight of being watched feels overwhelming, you are always surrounded by divine support. Your spiritual protectors are constantly working behind the scenes, orchestrating events, shielding you from harm, and guiding you toward your highest path. But here's the thing: they can only do so much. They need your cooperation. They need you to trust, to listen, and to take action when prompted. Your role in this battle is not passive. You are not just a bystander being pushed and pulled by unseen forces. You are a warrior, a leader, a light bearer. And that means you have to take responsibility for your part in this fight. Let's be real, this isn't easy. There will be days when you feel exhausted, when the weight of being watched, tested, and refined feels like too much to bear. That's when you have to remind yourself of the bigger picture. This isn't just about your personal journey. Your growth, your resilience, your victories, they are not just for you. They are for everyone your light will touch, for every soul you will awaken, for every chain you will help break. So when the battle gets intense, when the distractions, doubts, and difficulties come, ask yourself this: what's at stake if I give up? What happens if I let the opposition win? Because the truth is, it's not just your life on the line. Your purpose, your light, has the power to change countless lives. And that's why you're being watched so closely. That's why both light and darkness are so invested in you. You're not ordinary. You never were. And that's why this battle exists. But the fact that you're here, still standing, still seeking truth, is proof that you're stronger than anything trying to stop you. There's something undeniable about the light you carry. It's not something you can hide, even if you've tried. Maybe you've told yourself it would be easier to blend in, to stay quiet, to live like everyone else. But that's not possible for you. You've likely noticed that no matter how much you shrink, no matter how much you try to stay in the background, people still feel your energy. They're drawn to you, or they're uncomfortable around you. Either way, they can't ignore you, and neither can the spiritual forces at work. The truth is, your light isn't meant to be hidden. It's not there to make you comfortable or invisible. It's there because it's needed. It's there because it has a job to do. And whether you fully understand it or not, your presence shifts the energy of the spaces you enter. You can't turn it off. You can't pretend it's not there. What you can do is learn how to live with it, how to protect it, and how to use it in a way that serves both you and the people around you. Let's talk about why your light is so disruptive. People often think that light is gentle, that it softly illuminates without causing too much disturbance. But that's not entirely true. Light exposes what's hidden. It reveals the things people have buried, ignored, or denied. And for many, that's uncomfortable. Some people will see your light and feel inspired, as though it's giving them permission to shine their own. But others will see it and feel exposed, vulnerable, or even threatened. This isn't about you doing something to them. It's simply the nature of light. It reveals what's there, and not everyone is ready for that. This is why, as a chosen one, You often find yourself in situations where people react strongly to you, either positively or negatively. It's not personal, though it might feel that way. It's energetic. But here's where it gets tricky. As someone who carries this light, you have a responsibility to manage how you interact with the world. You've probably noticed that people often look to you for guidance, even when you didn't ask for that role. They ask for your advice, your support, your perspective, because they sense that you see things differently. And while this is a natural part of being chosen, it can also be overwhelming. The mistake many chosen ones make is trying to save everyone. You feel the weight of people's expectations, their needs, their pain, and you think it's your job to fix it. But it's not. Your role is not to carry others or to solve their problems for them. Your role is to lead by example, to show what's possible by living in alignment with your own purpose. This doesn't mean you should turn away from those who need help. It means you have to learn boundaries. Not everyone who comes to you is meant to stay in your life. Some people will try to cling to your light without doing the work to find their own. They'll drain you, consciously or unconsciously, because they see you as a source of energy they don't know how to access for themselves. It's okay to say no. It's okay to protect your energy. In fact, it's necessary. If you allow yourself to be drained by everyone who needs you, you'll have nothing left to give. And more importantly, you'll lose sight of your own path. The best way to help others is by staying strong, staying aligned, and showing them what it looks like to walk in your purpose. But staying aligned isn't always easy, especially when you're constantly being observed, tested, and challenged. There's a pressure that comes with being a chosen one, a sense that you're always on, always being held to a higher standard. And in a way, that's true. You are being held to a higher standard not because you're expected to be perfect, but because your actions carry weight. When you make choices, they don't just affect you. They ripple out into the lives of the people around you. This is why the opposition works so hard to distract and discourage you. It knows that if it can derail you, the effects will be far-reaching. But what the opposition doesn't want you to remember is that the same is true for your victories. Every time you rise above a challenge, every time you stay true to your purpose, you inspire others to do the same. This is how chosen ones lead, not by forcing others to follow, but by walking their path so boldly and authentically that others can't help but see what's possible. When you live in alignment with your light, you give others permission to do the same. Your energy activates something in them, wakes them up to their own potential. But here's the part many people don't talk about: leading others isn't always glamorous. It's not about being admired or praised. In fact, it's often the opposite. When you carry light, you'll face resistance, criticism, and even outright hostility. People won't always understand you. They'll project their fears and insecurities onto you. They'll try to pull you down because your growth reminds them of where they've stayed stagnant. You have to stay rooted in your purpose despite this. You can't let the opinions or actions of others dictate how you show up. Remember, you're not here to please everyone. You're here to fulfill your mission, and that requires strength, resilience, and unwavering faith in the light you carry. This is why protecting your energy is so crucial. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't lead others if you're constantly drained, distracted, or disconnected. You have to prioritize your spiritual health, even when it feels selfish. It's not selfish. It's necessary. Create space in your life for the practices that keep you strong. Whether it's time alone to recharge, connecting with nature, or deepening your relationship with the divine, these aren't luxuries, they're essentials. And don't underestimate the power of saying no. Not every opportunity, relationship, or request aligns with your purpose. It's okay to let go of what doesn't serve you. The more you protect your energy, the more powerful your light becomes. And the more powerfully you shine, the more you'll attract the right people, those who are ready to grow, to heal, to step into their own purpose. These are the ones you're meant to lead. But even as you lead, never lose sight of your own growth. Being chosen doesn't mean you've reached the end of your journey. It means you've been given the tools and opportunities to grow into something even greater. Every challenge you face, every test you endure, is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. So when the pressure feels overwhelming, when the weight of being watched becomes too much to bear, remember this: you are being refined, not punished. You are being shaped for something extraordinary. The forces of light are with you, guiding you, protecting you, and cheering you on. Your light isn't just for this moment. It's for the future, for the countless lives you'll touch, for the legacy you'll leave behind. And no matter how intense the battle gets, no matter how many eyes are watching, you are strong enough to handle it. You were chosen for a reason.